Welcome you guys to the Word the Faith podcast. This podcast, we discuss things biblical, get into spiritual things. This specific episode, we're going to start reading Mark chapter 3. We left off the end of Mark chapter 2. So let's get into it. First off, I want to say how you guys doing. I'm not really feeling my best. I don't feel well. I feel anxious. I'm sweaty, like my nose burns a little, I guess. But I needed something to do because just laying in the bed, I just was having depressing thoughts. So I figured, why not read the Bible and get into this? So let's get into Mark chapter 3. Chapter 3 and 1. It says that he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. The they that they're talking about is the Pharisees. You know, reading the word, reading the scriptures, reading the New Testament, whenever Yeshua is going preaching, teaching, he's not looking for trouble, right? He's just doing his Father's work. It's always the Pharisees that are seeking him out to accuse and to look for trouble and to find something that he's doing in their book that's, unlawful. Anyway, so they was watching him. They were creeping whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day that they might accuse him. So, on the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to do any work. So they would accuse him of doing work on the Sabbath day. So that's why they were watching him. And he saith unto the man which had a withered hand, stand forth. And he saith unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life or to kill? But they held their peace. And Yeshua always knew what was in the hearts of man. So he had definitely the spirit of discernment, because he was able to discern what someone had in their heart. And when he looked around about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. That's one thing that I do pray about. I do pray that I don't have a hardened heart, because I don't want to have that. I don't want that at all. Like, at all. And the Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians, which are Gentiles. I don't know if the Pharisees were Gentiles or if they was from the tribe, but I know the other people were Gentiles, right? It says, took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. But Yeshua withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea, so they left the scene. And a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Judea, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea. I don't know. I'm reading 16:11, so the J wasn't present then. It was an H. And from Idumea, and from beyond Jordan, but it says Iordan. That's what it says. And they about Churi and Sidon, and great multitude, when they had heard what great things he did, came unto him. And he spake to his disciples that a small ship should wait on him, because the multitude, lest they should throng him. It was a lot of people. And he had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon him for to touch him, as many as had and unclean spirits. There wasn't a U back in 1611 either. Maybe it was, because this unclean is spelled with a V. And unclean spirits, when they saw him, fell down before him and cried, saying, thou art the Son of the Elohim. And he straightly charged them that they should not make him known, basically saying, listen, don't tell nobody. And he goeth up unto the mountain, and calleth unto him whom he would, and they came unto him. And he ordained 12 that they should be with him, and that he might send them forth to preach, and to have power to heal sicknesses, and to cast out devils. So Yeshua ordained 12 people. He called them up with him up to the mountain. And when you read in the scriptures, you see that's something he did a lot, that he went to the mountain and he prayed, right? But he gave these 12 people powers to heal sickness and cast out devils. And Simon he named Peter. So he changed Simon's name to Peter. And James, the son of Zebedee, and John, the brother of James, and he surnamed them, I'm going to spell it, y'all, Boanerges, Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder. I know I'm not saying it right. And Andrew, and Philip, and Bartholomew, and and Matthew, and Thomas, and James, the son of Alphaeus, and Theudas, and Simon the Canaanite. It says, and first of all, it says Simon was a Canaanite. So he was a heathen, right? I guess. I'm not a heathen, a Gentile. I gotta look that up. And Judas Issachar, which also betrayed him, and they went into a house, so that he even included Judas, even though Judas betrayed him. And the multitude cometh together again, so that they could not so much as eat bread. So it was so many people they couldn't even eat. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, and they said, he is beside himself. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he have. So they follow him. They keep following him. These people keep following him. And just so they could accuse him. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem, said, he hath Beelzebub, blasphemy. It says he has Beelzebub, and by the prince of the devils casteth he out devils. And he called unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his good, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Verily I say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven unto the sons of men, and blasphemies wherewith soever they shall blaspheme. But he that shall blaspheme against the Holy Spirit hath never forgiveness, but is in danger of eternal damnation. Because they said he hath an unclean spirit. Right. That's what they did. That's exactly what they did. They said he had an unclean spirit. How dare they? There came then his brethren and his mother, and standing without, sent unto him, calling him. And the multitude sat about him, and they said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother without seek for thee. And he answered them, saying, who is my mother or my brother? And he looked round about on them which sat about him, and said, behold, my mother and my brother. And for whosoever shall do the will of the highest Elohim, the same is my brother, my sister, and my mother. So we're going to chapter 4 now. That was chapter 3. So we're in Mark chapter 4, 4:1. And he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine, hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. So it's like a farmer, like someone that has seeds, and they throw them, or they bury them, they plant them, they're sowing seed, right? So there went out a sower to sow, and it came to pass, he sowed, some fell by the wayside, so some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured them up. So the seeds that fell by the wayside are the ones that the birds came and they ate. So the seeds that wasn't covered, right? And some fell on stone ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately sprung up, but it had no depth on the earth. So some fell on a stone, and it grew, but it did not take hold, because it didn't have enough earth to sustain it, right? And some fell. Oh, yeah, I got to pass that. I'm at 3 and 6 now. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away, so it died. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. and other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprung up and increased, and brought forth some 30, and some 60s, and some 100. And he said unto them, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. And so y'all ears need to be open. It says, and when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Elohim, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that sing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they might hear but not understand, lest at any time they should be converted, and their sins shall be forgiven. And he said unto them, know ye not this parable, and how they will you know all parables? The sower soweth the word. So the sower is the one that goes about and says the word of the highest, right? He says the word of Yeshua. So the word of the highest, because Yeshua came and said the word of the highest. And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sowed in their heart. So they hear it, they get it, but then they allow the evil one to come in and immediately take that word away. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who when they have heard the word immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So these are the people that like the word, they hear the word, but when something comes about that tests their faith, when persecution comes, they like, no, this is not for me. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as heareth the word, and the cares of the world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things. Aren't we going through that right now in the world, y'all? And the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. So you have those that hear the word, but they care of the world, they care about riches, they care about deceitfulness and lust. So those are the ones that is sown to them, the word is sown to them, and the thorns that they have in their lives, whether it's riches, lust, whatever, it chokes the word. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. These are the ones that hear the word and go repeat the word, and you bring people to the word. And he said unto them, is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick? So if you have light, candle produces light. If you have light, you're not buying that light to stick up under the bed or stick under a bushel. And not to be set on a candlestick, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And he said unto them, take heed what you hear. With what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall more be given. For he that hath, to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath. And he said, so is the kingdom of the Elohim, as if a man shall cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed shall spring and grow up. He knoweth not how. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that full corn in the ear. But when the fruit is brought forth, immediately he putteth in the sickle, because the harvest is come. Basically, when the fruit come up, he's harvesting his fruit. And he said, whereunto shall we like the kingdom of the Elohim, or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it is sown in the earth is less than all the seeds that be of the earth. So the grain of the mustard seed is extremely small, right? And it says it is like a grain of a mustard seed, which when it's sown up in the earth is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. But when it soweth, it groweth up and becometh greater than all herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. But when it grows tall. And with many such parables speak he the word unto him, as they were able to hear it. But without a parable speak he unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples. So when he was alone, he spoke just regularly, I guess, to his disciples, or he explained to them what he meant. And the same day, when it says EUEN was come, he said unto them, when the end was coming, what he said unto them, let us pass over unto the other side. I don't know what that's. Eon? I don't know. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him, even as he was in the ship, and there were also with him other little ships. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and said unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? They were scared, y'all. And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? He was trying to get some sleep. And they feared exceedingly and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and sea obey him? All right, so we're going to stop right there. We read Mark chapters 3 and 4. Our next chapter will be chapter 5 and 6, I think. Yeah. Then we're going to go ahead and start reading from the book of Enoch. I've been reading the book of Enoch lately, which is extremely interesting. It talks about a lot of different things that, a lot of us think about, but we kind of don't know how to put into perspective. Like, we are living on a flesh earth, but we know we have a spirit, we know we have a soul, we know we have the spirits around us. So I think it put a lot of things into perspective. A lot of things people don't believe or don't understand the book of Enoch, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. I do not feel good at all, but I'm trying to get these verses out. It does make me feel a little better and take my mind off things. Bye, y'all.